The celebrities are gossiping about drama amid Baldoni, right? They did this publicity stunt last night where they went on SNL and Ryan Reynolds made this silly joke, this really silly joke.
They know that they've completely lost.
I'd say the majority of people I'm reading are not okay that he went and joked about such a serious thing.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds just got canceled by Hollywood in the most humiliating way possible. Once the golden couple of the industry, they're now being portrayed as brilliant manipulators who played everyone for fools.
And there's a hypocrisy and a fraudulence there that the public is picking up on. They weren't the first to do this. It was Blake Lively. It was Ryan Reynolds. This was their strategy. And now they kind of want to put the genie back in the bottle. But guess what? The genie does not want to go back in the bottle. The genie likes to be free, okay? And we're now all paying attention. Well, Ryan Reynolds on the Enneagram is a psycho. That's what he is. He's just a psycho. His number is psycho.
And if even their closest A-list cronies are backing away, it's very apparent their reign has effectively finished.
Get it? He's just being his funny Deadpool self, guys. So ironic, and it's so funny. He's like mocking the situation. And I do want to point out the homie Kevin Costner behind him.
For years, these two mastered the art of making everyone believe they were the best thing to happen to Hollywood. Blake, with her painstakingly groomed "I'm just a relatable girl who bakes" Instagram aesthetic, and Ryan, with his walking meme factory character.
And there were other people as well who didn't find it to be entertaining and were just sort of like, okay. And you could see that they didn't want to be inserted into, I guess, what you could now refer to his various Deadpool scenes.
Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ lots of the stars who attended the events on Sunday were confused as to why Blake and Ryan appeared on the show while they battled it out in court surrounding the movie It Ends With Us.
But then reality struck, and it turns out that below the PR sheen, they are just another troubled Hollywood couple who assumed they were invincible. Their biggest crime? Thinking they could get away with it. Their current controversies suggest differently.
I told them that I wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover.
Hollywood has turned its back on them. Studios don't want them. Brands are running away. Their colleagues, performers feel humiliated to be affiliated with them. Their own fans have abandoned them. And worst of all, the internet will never let them forget it.
Blake sensed she had a hit on her hands. And as soon as that happened, she took over. Complete control of that movie, brought in A-list producer, everybody else, and steamrolled the entire production from Justin. She doesn't have a Deadpool. She kind of lost it and had to be meticulously controlling every piece of the movie, which was not her place to do.
Let's start with the train wreck that is It Ends With Us, released in August 2024. This dumpster fire of a picture was intended to be the next big thing, since it grossed a staggering $351 million worldwide on a $25 million budget. But instead of being remembered for its success, it's now irrevocably associated with one of the messiest Hollywood legal fights in recent history. And guess what? It all circles back to Blake Lively and her desperate attempts to portray the victim while yet controlling the narrative.
You can just see he is not pleased. He just doesn't find it to be funny. He seems to be trying to look to see if he can catch Blake's face there. And he just didn't find it funny. He did not break character once. He just was like, okay. And there were other people as well who didn't find it to be entertaining.
Blake, being the ever so dramatic queen of victimhood, accused director Justin Baldoni of harassment, alleging he created a toxic work atmosphere. She had all the sob tales ready, unwanted physical advances, indecent comments, you name it. We believed her. She was suffering through the worst on-set experience of all time. But hilarious how such assertions emerged only when she found that her influence over the picture wasn't as large as she thought. Suspicious timing, don't you think?
He just wins for his sincerity, his ability to connect with people, regular people outside of the Hollywood bubble, people, many women who have actually survived sexual abuse, sexual harassment, whatever it is.
Hijacked the movie, threatened everybody, got involved, over-exaggerated complaints. And then when the movie was a hit, but she wasn't seen as a hit, she was seen as the problem, that's when everything went south.
And how convenient. In December 2024, right before the holiday season, she went to the California Civil Rights Department to file a complaint, ensuring maximum media coverage. But Baldoni wasn't about to roll over and take the hit. Nope. He clapped back with a $400 million lawsuit against Blake, Ryan, and their entire PR staff, accusing them of defamation, extortion, and straight up trying to steal his movie.
Blake has also claimed Justin SH'd her while on the movie set. One source who was at 30 Rock for the taping tells us Blake and Ryan were the talk of the entire evening, and many people avoided them.
Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Imagine being so desperate for power that you end yourself in a multi-million-dollar legal problem just because someone didn't let you take over a project. Now, as if their legal drama wasn't already entertaining, these two geniuses believed it would be a fantastic idea to spoof the scenario on live television.
She doesn't have a Deadpool. She kind of lost it and had to be meticulously controlling every piece of the movie.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation.
Enter Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary, February 2025, where Ryan Reynolds decides to be the human embodiment of a read the room failure. He made a joke about the legal situation that, to absolutely no one's surprise, backfired tragically. Ryan, friend, when your wife is drowning in charges and litigation, maybe, just maybe, don't make jokes about it in front of millions of viewers.
He's spot on and wisely calling it out for what it is. And apparently now comfortable doing some more interviews, given that, Blake and Ryan are out there on one of the biggest stages, addressing, sort of alluding to it when they're trying to tell everyone to stop talking or stop defending themselves. They're allowed to go out on the red carpet and play like their brand is fine.
Hollywood, of course, did what it does best, drag them through the mud. The Hollywood Reporter produced a cover feature emphasizing their downfall. And Blake, being the ever-so delusional drama queen, dubbed it misogynistic and disgusting. Sure, Blake. It's always sexist when the media holds you accountable, but perfectly fine when you and your PR team persuade every press source to cast Baldoni as the perpetrator.
Confused as to why Blake and Ryan appeared at the show while they battle it out in court with Baldoni over drama surrounding the movie It Ends With Us. Right.
People were sort of just noticing that Blake Lively was not the nicest person.
And social media ate them alive. Fans and critics stormed Twitter, Reddit, and Instagram, calling them out for their manufactured behavior. The criticism wasn't simply scathing, it was constant. Hashtags like Cancel Lively Reynolds started trending, and let's just say folks were not here for their woe is me narrative.
Somebody in Blake Lively's camp was shopping around what they claimed to be HR complaints to various tabloids and publications, namely TMZ, Daily Mail, and the New York Post. It would have been wiser for them to take the mediation route to settle, okay? To say, we cannot win this. But I can tell you that that's not exactly a planned route of escape for them anymore at this moment.
Insiders from Hollywood also had some scathing words regarding this mess. Apparently, many industry figures who once deemed them untouchable are now maintaining their distance. Some even argued that the couple's mismanagement of this matter would have permanent implications on their careers. I mean, we're talking about Hollywood, where people get blacklisted faster than you can say, bad PR move.
So there was mediation, there was an idea of mediation, and both sides, your side and Blake's, shot it down. Were you open to mediating this and the other side said no? Because I don't understand why this could and should end, but it has to be them, right?
But the real kicker? The hypocrisy. Ryan Reynolds, the man who built his entire career on playing the relatable, hilarious guy, suddenly isn't so funny when the joke's on him. And Blake, the woman who spent years building an image of grace, professionalism, and I can do no wrong, is finally being shown for the manipulative mess she truly is. Turns out, Hollywood's sweethearts were really Hollywood's worst frauds.
And there's a lot of question and confusion and frustration due to what your wife's behavior was. The way your wife took over that movie was shameful. And never because he's a harasser. No, everything I'm gathering, the truth of this story, it seems to be Blake sensed she had a hit on her hands. But they didn't. They showed up to try to make light to sort of poke fun and seem likable and see everything's cool, guys, right? No, that's why they attended. And everyone's still in shock over it, myself included.
Their professional lives are in freefall. Several potential projects have been postponed, firms are distancing themselves, and sponsorship deals are disappearing quicker than Blake's credibility. Big brands don't love controversies, and these, too, have turned poisonous. Their once loyal fan base is likewise diminishing. For the first time in their careers, their charm isn't enough to save them.
This is your first appearance to go out and about after all the drama to show up on Scarlett Johansson's husband's show. Colin Jost, her husband, a big deal, big head writer over at Saturday Night Live. Or anybody who had the guts to say, sit down, dragon, just something would have just kicked it up a notch to actually be, the Saturday Night Live we had expected to be. But no, it was very safe and it was very not funny.
I don't think anybody who's been accused of heinous, arguably what are crimes, is on vacation.
And let's speak about Ryan for a second. This man created a career off of playing the cool, self-aware guy. The one who fully doesn't take Hollywood too seriously, but at the same time is craving for Hollywood's acceptance. But when several directors and co-stars refuse to work with you, that's when you know you're the problem.
But now they're out there celebrating, making jokes, making light of it, which Justin Baldoni's legal team could absolutely use against them in Justin's defense.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation.
Let's not forget that Tim Miller, the director of Deadpool, straight up walked away from the franchise because working with Ryan was a nightmare. TJ Miller, his Deadpool co-star, made it very obvious that he wouldn't work with Ryan again, not even for quadruple the salary. When even the individuals who helped make you a box office king don't want to interact with you, that's a yikes moment.
The words that we heard were they were confused as to why they would be there and involved in this way.
Me Too victim is instead looking a lot more like Amber Heard. How did that work out?